Good morning, everyone. 大家早. My name is Michael. I am going to be your food tour guide today. And we have started our YouTube videos with a series on Taiwanese breakfast. It has now been over 12 episodes of different types of Taiwanese breakfast foods, anywhere from soy milk to shaobean, to youtiao, to luobogao, and even we did several different types of fan tuan too. But Taiwanese breakfast runs the gamut. It can be anywhere from what you think of as Taiwanese breakfast now to old school shi fan, rice porridge with jiang cai and pickles, like the way that our grandparents eat, or more contemporary. Nowadays, everyone, what is the most basic form of breakfast? It's bread, right? So I am now outside of one of my favorite Taiwanese bakeries in all of Southern California called JJ Bakery, in Mandarin Chinese called Xiao Ya Wu. And this is actually where my food tour started 11 years ago. The delicious dumpling tour at Six Tastes this is where we gathered at 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturdays. Can you even imagine waking up that early for breakfast for a 5-hour long food tour? But this is exactly where it started. So I want to show you for my final episode on Taiwanese breakfast all about my favorite breads from JJ Bakery, Xiao Ya Wu over here. And I have got a bountiful box of lovely, lovely bread. And we're gonna start with one of the basic Taiwanese breads. This one is called Rosesong Bao. And Rosesong, we have talked about so many times already. It is sometimes called pork floss, but really it's a dry form of shredded pork. And this is something that I ate so often when I was a kid, and my parents would put me in a shopping cart, give me one of these breads, and then tell me to sit down and shut up. But basically, this right here is your basic super soft bread on the bottom, and there's a little tiny layer of mayonnaise that glues all of this lovely shredded dried pork called rosesong right on top. And so this, I'm gonna take a little bite. Look how soft this is. This is like pillowy soft. And totally delicious. This takes me back to 5 years old and having this be my basic breakfast bread. Fast forward 30 years later, that one is one of my favorites, but my favorite bread is 热狗面包. 热狗 is a hot dog and 面包 is bread. It's literally hot dog bread, or our version of pigs in a blanket. But this is so pillowy soft that sometimes on my food tour, I told everyone that this was like pillows in a comforter because it was like extra fluffy and just comforting. That's the right word. But when you take this little mianbao, this was like what we ate Saturday after Saturday after Saturday on my food tour, and you would think that it's just another basic bread like weenies in a blanket, pigs in a blanket. But the difference with Taiwanese hot dog bread is there is a bit of elasticity to the bread, so that when you break it apart, this is how you eat Taiwanese bread. You break it apart rather than just chomping down on it. When you take it apart, you can see all the little fibers and sinews inside the bread that are kind of stretchy and elastic, and you just don't find this in other types of bread. Well, you might, but this is a distinct characteristic of Taiwanese style bread. It's stretchy, it's elastic. Not only is 热狗面包my favorite, there's another version of 热狗面包 at JJ Bakery called 热狗丹麦, right? And this is basically well, let's explain this. 热狗, like I said, hot dogs, right? But 丹麦 is the Mandarin Chinese way of saying Danish or Denmark. So this is a pigs in a blanket but Danish style, which also that makes like zero sense, first of all, because this is like a croissant and not a Danish. And second, when I went to Denmark and asked them to have Danishes, no one knew, none of the local Danish people knew what I was talking about. Because Danishes don't actually come from Denmark. Side story, on a tangent. Anyway, this is another lovely, if you don't like pillowy soft bread and you love that like golden brown crust, that texture for bread, I would recommend the hot dog Danish instead. I'm gonna show you something else. This is JJ Bakery's best selling breakfast bread. This is called Mao Mao Chong. Mao Mao Chong in Mandarin Chinese basically means hairy insect. It's kind of gross, but really what it means is a caterpillar, because this bun or this bread is supposed to look like a caterpillar. This is their raisin bread, and it's scored just like little sections of a caterpillar. So gross, right? But also kind of cute too. When you break this open, we'll see the stretch again. Look at how this stretches. This is like gorgeous bread. The inside is chock full of raisins. Not everybody loves raisins, but this is actually one of the best-selling breads at JJ. All right, other things as part of your morning breakfast. This in the general Chinese, greater Chinese community is very popular. This is called a boluo mianbao. Boluo is one of the ways in Mandarin Chinese to say pineapple, but this bread actually doesn't have any pineapple in it. It is just scored on the outside to look like the exterior of a pineapple. So this is one of the breads more commonly associated with like Cantonese breads or Hong Kong type breads, but JJ Bakery, a Taiwanese bakery, will make it also. Another bread that is commonly associated with Cantonese style bakery or baking is chasiu bao, right? Chasiu buns. But you'll find it at dim sum. It's usually like white and steamed and pillowy soft on the outside. But at JJ Bakery, they do a baked version that is covered with sesame seeds. This is like super lovely, wonderful. And this, I would say, is more of a Taiwanese style chasiu bao than it is a Hong Kong or Cantonese style version of it. And you, oh, it's so soft. When you break this open, it's just like full of this barbecue chasiu pork, and it's so soft. It's like, we gotta do this. This is also one of my favorite ones here. That flavor in there is a very like Taiwanese chasiu. There's just like a different hint of smokiness, I think, in a Taiwanese chasiu versus like a sweeter glazed Cantonese chasiu. All right, more bread. I'm telling you, I have a lot of bread. When you think of chewing, so much chewing. When you think of Asian style bakeries, one of the most popular ones that people come up or think about is red bean bun, right? Whether it's a Taiwanese bakery, whether it's Japanese bakery or a Korean bakery, red bean is so often found in the bread. But because Taiwan has had so many different influences from countries around the world, I mean, we've got the name, like how to say bread in Taiwanese is pan. It's not even mianbao like it is in Mandarin Chinese. And that influence comes from Portugal via Japan. And that's a whole nother story that we'll talk about another day. But Portuguese, the Japanese have had a lot of influence on Taiwanese culinary cuisine. And so the red bean bun at JJ Bakery, you can get the basic plain one. There's also a red bean and mochi one too. This one has literally got mochi inside. And when you break this open, look at how gorgeous this is. It looks like cheese, but it's not cheese. It's actually mochi inside. There's red bean, there's mochi, all encapsulated in this sesame seed bun. Do you see this stretch? It's like mozzarella, but it's not because it's made from rice. Oh. A stretch is that defining characteristic of good Taiwanese bread. Right there. All right. So, speaking of Japanese influenced Taiwanese or other internationally influenced Taiwanese foods, this is more of a pastry, not so much of a bread, but this is their curry pie, their hand hand turnover empanada kind of looking thing. Also something that I really enjoy in the morning, especially because they keep it in the oven, so it's nice and toasty when you order it. But this is curry beef inside of a flaky, lovely flaky pastry. Woo! We're making it rain pastry over here, but this is one of my favorite ones too. That one is so good. So good. Alright. I'm making a mess and now everybody's looking. That's great. Okay. Two more things that have gotten sort of an influence from outside cultures. Not just the curry pie. We've also got something here that looks almost like a sushi roll, right? But this is not exactly a Japanese sushi. Japanese sushi has rice and fish. Korean sushi, sometimes we call kimbap, has rice and vegetables and maybe fish cake inside, or beef even. Taiwanese breakfast sushi, this is called 紫菜卷 or 海苔卷. It has bread and pork inside instead of rice and fish. I'm still eating this. Okay. This inside, once again, has rosesong, there's ham inside, there's egg from an omelet, all sorts of lovely goodness, wrapped with bread, then wrapped with Japanese nori seaweed on the outside. This is super cool. And I would say another one, Taiwanese egg tarts. Taiwanese egg tarts are so good because they're extra thick and deep, and so you get all this lovely extra crust, extra eggy tart, egg custard tarty goodness is what I meant to say. Also makes it super difficult to get out of the tin pan. Yeah, this is not working so well. We're gonna eat this later. Oh, I got it. Hey, all right. So there's a Hong Kong style egg tart. It's kind of low and shorter, and it has a nice like hard crust. A Portuguese style egg tart or a cream tart is more like runny in the middle. It's a lot sweeter and it has a lot more cream. Taiwanese egg tart is like, this is like deep dish egg tart. It's like Chicago deep dish, except it's like an egg tart. Lovely explanation, right? Okay. Let me break this apart. Look at that gooey goodness. It's not quite set custard, but it's not quite cream either. I would say it's like a really soft, super soft, like chawanmushi texture. I don't know what to do with my hands right now. This is, yeah. Last three things. We got the biggest garlic toast ever, super thick. This is like a combo Texas toast Taiwanese style. And we talked about this in several previous episodes, the shaobing, but this is the sweet shaobing, tian shaobing, and not the savory one that you put the youtiao in the middle. But when you open this up, in the middle, look at all this flakiness. Holy cow. In the middle, there's like sugar crumble. Sometimes restaurants and bakeries will put maltose in the middle, which is basically another form of sugar, but also lovely to have in your morning pastry. Think almond croissant, but not almond and not a croissant. Okay, last item is, oh no, I just found another one. Last two items. Okay, one of them is my friend Christina's favorite bread in all of JJ Bakery. This is not something that I normally eat because I didn't even know it existed in here. And as you can see, there's literally dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of different types and varieties of bread inside. But my friend Christina introduced this to me, and this is a cheese mochi bread. And both cheese and mochi. Neither cheese nor mochi originated from Taiwan. Yes, let's acknowledge that. Holy.
You know how to cut parts of it out, right?
Sure.
All right. It's been running. Okay, go.
Okay. So, phone overheated. That's okay. But guess what? I'm overheating too. Clearly, the sweat, it's happening. So, we're going to finish off right now. This cheese mochi bread, it looks insane. There's so much cheese and mochi mixed together in here. It is like the inside of the biggest quesadilla ever of my life. But we're gonna. I mean, that's good. I wouldn't call this Taiwanese, but it's delicious. But we're gonna let Christina know that I like this. Okay.
Right here.
Christina's right there. She knows. What? Taiwanese breakfast. We're gonna bring it back to what everyone thinks is Taiwanese breakfast, which includes fan tuan. But fan tuan at JJ Bakery is very special because it has a entire Taiwanese sausage in the middle. Where else have you ever had a fan tuan with a sausage in the middle? Have you ever? No, right? We're gonna check this out. Oh. A sausage in the middle with egg and youtiao and a rosesong, all wrapped by sticky rice together. That is it. That is it for now. This is a pause on our Taiwanese breakfast journey. I hope you have enjoyed checking out all of the episodes as much as I have enjoyed chewing while talking on camera. So please, please, please remember to leave a comment. Your favorite. I know it's bad, isn't it? It's bad. We gotta go. We gotta go. Leave a comment with your favorite Taiwanese breakfast food, whether it's bread, rice porridge, any dish, soy milk, whatever it is for me. Subscribe, like the video, and I will see you guys. They gotta go too. It's time to go. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a wonderful start to your week, and we will see you guys next time.
Yay.